Josh, I don't know if you know, Josh played today.
Did he?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
The game literally just finished.
Well, it was 2-0 when we left.
Yeah,
but I didn't know he actually got on the field.
He did.
It's good. It's good for him. It's good for us.
Do you look at that as any special? I guess it's the first, not counting Mario Martinez, who hadn't actually suited up for you guys yet. It's the first active sounder to be in the Olympics. Is there anything special about that?
Yeah. It's credit to this club, the players we have at this club. I know you guys found out what the whole Jordan Morris deal was all about. We wanted Jordan to be in there, but it didn't happen. So, yeah, it's a proud moment for the club. It's good for Josh, good for his confidence.
Do you find that when players go off to big events like that they come back with something extra?
Yeah, sure. Josh from January camp this year, Christian, a bunch of guys over the years, when they come back from World Cup qualifying, they're sharp, for sure.
Looking at the tape from the 2-0 win over Minnesota, what do you feel like you guys did well, and can you improve on?
Good question, Jackson, because we started off with some of the things that we really could have done better. Like that game could have been 6-3. There were some defending moments that we weren't very good. Defending in transition, some decision-making in our defending, some giveaways that led to some transition moments. So we had a pretty balanced session this morning with, look, we got to clean some of this stuff up. Had Minnesota been a little sharper on the day, might have caused us some problems. But then, the expected goals, yes, minus Albert's PK miss. Possession in their half of the field, yes, the red card certainly helped, but even before that I thought we had some good chances and good possession. So yeah, it was a good film session today, balanced with good and bad.
And for Pedro, another start, how do you feel like he's continuing to integrate into
Good. He was better. He understood the tactics a little more. We want him to start a little bit wider, give us some width, but then when he comes inside, what overloads can we do on that side? Knew who has to go, or if it's Reed playing back there, they have to go once or twice with quality. You don't want him to go all the time, but if Pedro cuts in, we need guys over there. Albert's finding out how to play with them, some rotations there. There's no saying that Obed can't do what he does on the right side over on the left side, make those movements in behind into those gaps. So it was better.
Seeing Christian back at the wing, what were your thoughts on him playing there?
I liked it. Look, I made the change. I made the change and put him in the middle, and he wasn't quite as good in the middle, I thought. But I thought him and Alex were energized over there on the right side.
Raul Reyes came off with a tough injury. Just wanted to see if there was any updates on him.
He's going to tell you he's going to be ready for Sunday.
Okay.
He's not. Look, those MCLs are tricky because it's he can run straight ahead. He'll be out here maybe tomorrow, next day, running straight ahead. But when you pass the ball with the inside of your foot, that puts that pressure on the MCL ligament. So it'll take him a while, but it's not as serious as what it could have been. Because it was a pretty reckless tackle. I don't think Hassani meant it, but it was a pretty reckless tackle.
So is there a timeline specifically about when he'll be back? Is it about the swelling? What is it about?
Whenever he's ready, I'm going to put him back on the field.
Medical staff told you anything, though?
Look, we can guesstimate if you want. If you want 2 weeks, 3 weeks, max.
I saw Cody walking around with a cast.
He had surgery on his scaphoid bone, which is a really important bone in your wrist. Probably shouldn't say that until I cleared it with Cornish, but that was the surgery. And they had to do it's funny that a soccer player that's not a goalkeeper had to have that surgery now, but he's had it for a long time. He's a tough kid. He played with that. It was still giving him pain, and the doctors said they have to fix that for his long-term human being life.
Yeah. Because it looked like he'd been wearing a brace for a while.
Yeah. So the decision was made here in Leagues Cup to get it done because he'll be back in 3 weeks.
How do you go about preparing for a Club Necaxa team that...
We started film this morning on Necaxa. We're getting ahead of the curve. Now, they've played 4 games, and Liga MX, especially when not a ton of time under their belts, the games looked a little slower on film. But they're a good team. Good center forward, good number 10. We'll see what they look like against MLS opponent tonight against Minnesota. We'll see how fast that tempo is, because I'm sure they understand what they need to do. So let's see what Necaxa gives, but it'll be a good game for us on Sunday.
For situations like this where you have a team coming up that you get to sit down and watch, do you watch it individually? Do you get together with the coaching staff together and watch it? How do you go about it?
Be at home with a glass of red wine, and then we'll watch the film the next day.
So there's a scenario where you'll secure advancement before you play the game, and your seeding doesn't really, like winning the group doesn't necessarily get you any benefit. Does that change the approach, or is this sort of, you approach this game the same regardless of?
We are going to put a team out there that I think is going to be able to win the game, but you are right, there are other considerations. Chivas being the team that we would have to play away versus, San Jose or LA, we'd have them up here.
Right.
So we can't decide, that's not going to be decided tonight.
Right.
It'll have to wait till that last game in their group. So, we'll just see.
How's JP? I know you pulled him off here in the game. Just wanted to get your take. I know you're going to manage him. Are you still managing him for any sort of reason? Or?
That was coach's decision. Felt the way the game was going. We needed a change. Today, that day, that was him. Other days, it's going to be other people. Guys aren't playing up to their standard. It's going to happen.
Is he 100% physically, though?
Yeah, he's 100%. Yeah. I just didn't think he was clean enough with his passing. Look, nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. JP, Steph Fry, the other game against LAFC. None of these guys are infallible. We're human beings. So it's going to happen, and we're just going to get the next guy up there, and we're going to try and win games.
We saw Yeimar here working on passing, small touches. He's a guy that's probably going to be wanting to get back out there.
Of course he is. Yeah.
In terms of what he provides you, opposite to maybe what JB offers you, what do you feel like he kind of excels at that is important for the team?
Yeimar? Well, he's defensively one of the top guys in the league consistently. His one-on-one, his intercepting of passes, his aerial duels, his physical duels. That's what he brings. The reason why we're working on his touches, because that's something he can always get better at.
And in terms of the goalkeeping situation, I know you mentioned you will kind of take it game to game. How's Steph, taking
Totally
that?
fine. Totally fine. He gets it. I can get ahead of the horse here. We will start Andrew again. A little bit just because I think we're going to have a positive result. But, for this next game, I'm going to start Andrew, and then as games pile up, we'll see.
JB, it seems like every time he gets out there, it looks like he's doing a lot of positive stuff defensively. How has your vision of him or your outlook on him changed throughout the year? I mean, he comes in and he's a deep reserve piece, and all of a sudden he's getting significant minutes.
It's credit to him. Same storyline like Paul Rothrock. They work hard at training. They get their chance in a game. They perform. That gives them more chances to perform. He backs those up with consistent, good performances, both on and off the ball.
Is there anything that he's providing that you maybe didn't realize that he had as part of his game?
Well, he played left back a little bit for New England when he played that spell of games, so his passing's better than I thought it was. Preseason, he's a quiet kid. You never really got to know him that much, but some of the interior passes he finds, that little clip ball into Obed that started one of our attacks, he's got that in him, which suits me fine. So yeah, there's a lot of things that he's surprised us with.
How much have you been able to see of this first week of Leagues Cup? Anything that stands out? What you've thought about some of the games, some of the competition?
Again, I like the competition. It kind of reminds me of Champions League, but this time the League MX teams are behind because they don't have a ton of games, so they're getting their taste of their own medicine a little bit. So it's been good. Looking forward to playing Necaxa because I think it's exciting.